in the heart of Zamago, where yam hills kiss the sky and where harvests are plenty and gossips flew faster than drums, a woman arrived on a market day. She did not come with baskets of pepper, nor did she carry cloth or calabashes of palm oil. She came with nothing but herself and dreams. It was a market day. As always, the village square was full by sunrise. Children ran barefoot after goats. Women arranged okra and bitter leaf in neat piles. Men gathered under mango trees, chewing kola and gossiping like old hens. The air crackled with bargaining voices and laughter. Then she came. No one saw her arrive. One moment she wasn't there, and the next she was. She wore a deep blue wrapper with golden stars sewn into the fabric, and her skin, dark. Her eyes, they were quiet like midnight after rain. She sat under the ancient Iroko tree, the one struck by lightning 10 years ago and left abandoned since. No one dared sit there, but she did. In front of her was only a palm mat and a line drawn in white chalk on the red soil. Dreams for sale, 5 cowries. At first people laughed. Dreams, better sell pepper, mama. But a young man named Utom, drawn by curiosity, approached her and asked Mama, "What is your name?" She replied, "Ijele." Utom smiled and placed 5 cowries on the mat. She asked gently, "Do you want a dream of joy, of warning, or of truth?" Utom, confused, "Joy, please." She smiled, closed her eyes, and whispered something over his head. He blinked. Nothing happened. But that night, Utom slept and saw himself leading a great warrior army, saving his people in a battle. He woke laughing, feeling strong. The next day, he informed his friends what he experienced in his dream with excitement. News about the dream spread throughout the village. People who bought dreams from Ijele started seeing visions of gold, lost loved ones, future children, even hidden enemies. Some awoke from sleep weeping in awe, others terrified. Soon, she was the most visited person in the entire market. Farmers sought visions of good harvest. Women wanted to see faithful husbands. Chiefs came in disguise, hoping to know the secrets of their rivals, but no one knew where Ijele slept or whether she ate. She had a rule. She never sold 2 dreams to the same person and never received more than 5 cowries. A greedy palm wine tapper, Udoka, placed 10 cowries instead of 5 and demanded, "Give me 2 dreams of riches." She frowned. "You cannot buy what is not meant for you." Udoka, scoffing, "Then take it as a gift. Give me the richest dream you have." She hesitated, then agreed. That night, Udoka saw himself sitting on a golden throne, drinking from a goblet made of skulls. People danced for him, but their faces were twisted. Suddenly, the throne melted into fire. He woke up screaming, covered in blisters, very difficult to cure. He ceased to listen to stories about Ijele and her dreams and never went close to the tree where she sold dreams. The king of Zamago demanded Ijele's presence in the palace. On the agreed day, she came unshaken. "Where do your dreams come from? Who sent you?" the king inquired. Ijele, smiling, "I am only a mirror. I show what already sleeps within." "Then show me the dream of my ancestors," the king requested. He offered her a bag of silver. She refused. "I do not trade in silver, only cowries, from your own hand." Reluctantly, the king dropped 5. She looked at him and whispered. That night, the king saw himself standing before his ancestors, naked, as they turned away from him, one by one. "You have ruled without wisdom," they said. "Your time is ending." The king awoke, sweating, and refused to speak to anyone for 3 days. The village elders grew uneasy. Elder Agu, in a discussion with Ukandu, stated, "What this woman sells is too dangerous. She unearths what must stay buried." Elder Ukandu, concerned with this type of strange goods sold to people in the market, stated, "We must watch her. If dreams can shake a village, what can she not do with nightmares?" Yet none dared stop her, for even the elders began buying dreams in secret. Elder Ogodo, the oldest among them, received an invitation from Elder Omeziri to share kola and palm wine in a day's time. Elder Ogodo, having bought dream from Ijele, an evening before the visitation, dreamt that he sat under the big udala tree with Omeziri. They laughed. Kola nuts were broken, but as he picked a piece, a serpent slithered from the calabash in front of them, bearing fangs. Omeziri smiled, his teeth turning black, his eyes hollow. He woke gasping. Ogodo cancelled the meeting and sent a message that he had taken ill. A week later, a hunter reported seeing Omeziri performing midnight rituals by the river. When it was discovered and confirmed by the elders, Omeziri was exiled after charms and a calabash of poison were found in his hut. The village trembled. A trio of local herbalists, Okena, Ogu, and Ubaka, grew resentful. Their herbal businesses suffered. People no longer came for potions and charms. They went to Ijele. "We must stop her," Ogu hissed. "She steals the minds of the people." They tried confronting her. "She is not of this world," Okena warned after their first meeting. Her eyes, they look beyond the skin. As they fled from Ijele, still they schemed. They mixed herbs, cursed roots, and spiritual poisons. A night before a market day, they buried a charm under her mat. The next morning, Ijele only smiled and said aloud, "What you bury for others, you prepare for yourself." That night, all 3 herbalists, even without buying dreams, dreamt that they became trees in a burning forest. Flames ate their limbs as villagers laughed. They woke screaming, their arms covered in ash and rashes. Within days, their shrines became entirely empty and deserted, as they no longer came there, neither did villagers visit. Among the many who flocked to Ejele was Udo, the wealthiest corn merchant in Zamago. His store always overflowed with golden grains, and his house stood proudly at the edge of the village, roofed with imported zinc and guarded by stone lions carved by foreign hands. But Udo's wealth had a bitter root. His measuring bowl was not what it seemed. At first glance, it looked ordinary, but the bottom was cleverly padded, so for every measure paid for, customers received less than half. He smiled as their baskets filled slowly. He laughed as their cowries multiplied in his bag. No one suspected, until he came to Ijele. He dropped 5 cowries, carefully selected the cleanest and brightest ones onto her mat. "I want to see more wealth," he said smugly. Ijele looked at him long and hard, the way wind studies a flame. Then she nodded. "You shall see what wealth truly means." That night, Udo slept with a grin. But in the dream, he stood before his grain store, beaming. Customers came, as usual. Then one customer picked up his measuring bowl, and it split in 2. From the broken bowl crawled hundreds of tiny hands, stretching out, crying, "You cheated us." The customers began shouting. One spat into his corn, another overturned his baskets. A woman threw cowries at his face. "We will never return," they roared. In the dream, his house collapsed. The carved lions melted. His sacks of corn turned to ash. He woke up screaming. His wife rushed in. "What is it?" He ran to his store. The bowl sat where he left it. But later that morning, his 10-year-old son, who visited his corn shop, strangely brought that bowl and gave to a customer who saw the padding on the bowl and instantly raised the alarm. The truth spilled out like broken shells. A chorus of angry voices rose. "He has been cheating us. Thief! He deserves no mercy." The market turned against Udo. No one bought from him again. Within weeks, his store was empty. When someone asked if he still dreamt of wealth, he shook his head and whispered, "Dreams are not things to be played with. They see beyond what we hide, and they always speak truth, even when it burns. Only one dream per person. The spirit does not tolerate greed." "Why can she not sell plenty?" muttered Okoro. Okoro, a land-grabbing trader, paid for 4 dreams in 1 week, which were rejected by Ijele, accepting only 1. That night, he slept and found himself naked in the village square, tied to a tree, with invisible canes flogging his back. He screamed, but no one heard. By dawn, real marks of whipping covered his back. He couldn't walk for a week, as he crawled like a lizard. One woman, Adoma, bought a dream to discover her husband's secrets, even when her behavior was bad. That night, she was dragged in her sleep by shadowy beings, forced to sweep an endless compound with a tiny broom, crying, begging. When she woke, her eyes were swollen shut. One night, 7 strangers arrived in Zamago. They wore white wrappers and covered their heads. They waited until the market ended and approached Ijele. The first stranger asked her, "You are not meant to be here." Second stranger stated, "You walk among the living, though you belong to the realm of slumber." But she looked at them and replied, "And yet, here I am, as I was sent." The ground beneath the Iroko tree shook. Thunder rumbled, though the sky was clear. The next morning, the strangers were gone, and so was Ijele. Days passed, then weeks. Her mat remained under the tree, but no one sat there. Dreams were no longer sold to the people. Some slept soundlessly. Others had nightmares. The king summoned elders and sent the village guards to search the land to find Ijele. They found her nowhere. Then one early morning, a blind woman passing through the market claimed she heard a whisper under the tree where Ijele sold dreams, and the whisper went thus: "I will return when truth is valued more than silver, and the heart is heavier than the purse." Dream sellers began appearing in markets across the region, but none were real. They lacked her eyes, they lacked her silence. They lacked the power to stir the soul. And some say, on market days with a full moon, if you pass the Iroko tree alone, you may hear drums, very faint, and the whisper of a woman. What dream do you seek? Be careful what you desire, for desire shapes destiny. True dreams do not come from outside. They awaken from within. Seek them wisely or pay the price. This story is from Motherland Tales. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button, like and leave a comment, as we have got some more videos on the way, which we think you are really going to enjoy. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.